Teachers, as we begin to think about the word fluency with our young children and their ability to read with fluency, I believe I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we always, first and foremost, as we consider that word fluency, we want to connect it with the word accuracy first. We're looking for our students to be accurate readers. Fluency was never meant to be fast reading or speed reading, and I know that as we, many times in the world of assessment, we've had to consider that. I know that we as teachers all come back to our first goal, which is always that students be accurate readers. So what I have here is some fluency booklets that can be used all the way from children who are reading very simple three-sound words, CVC words with a few what we call the non-phonetic or the irregular words of the language, like the or a or the word for, something like that that is non-phonetic. We want to consider that not only do they practice single words, but we're looking very soon for them to be at what we call the phrase level. So I've taken Dr. Timothy Rosinsky's most common words that he created phrases with, and we've put these into booklets, and I want to demonstrate just a little bit about what you will do with these. Now these are for our younger children. Obviously you can see from the cover that we're looking to just really have our younger children be interested in reading these particular books. But I have these separated into using the first 100 most common words of the language, adding the second 100 most common words of the language, and then finally for our younger children, the third most common 100 words of the language. So once children have worked with these particular booklets, they're going to be fluent with the first 300 most common words of the language, according to, again, Dr. Timothy Rosinsky, or it's Dr. Edward Fry's words, with Timothy Rosinsky putting these into phrases. So if you look at the first 100 words, these are in booklets, 2 booklets as a set. It takes 2 of them to actually cover the first 100 words because of, number one, the size of the font. Secondly, if when I tried putting these into one booklet, I felt like children might be a little hesitant to open up a booklet that was fairly thick. It seems a little overwhelming for a younger child. So we simply broke them down into 2 separate booklets. So in essence, then they're not identical. They each have different phrases. So again, in order to get the first 100 words and phrases, it takes both booklets. But I also was thinking about students, as a classroom teacher, I wanted students in my stations, as they were buddy reading or peer reading, I wanted them to not feel overwhelmed with the number of words that they maybe were reading. So, and it helps with the cost. As well, because it invites two students into, or 4 students in essence, into the fluency station, and 2 of them can be working with one booklet, 2 of them can be working with another, and reading back and forth with each other. So we have booklets with the first 100 words, 2 booklets, obviously looking identical, 1 and 2 to cover the second 100 words, 2 identical covers to cover the number 1 and number 2 book to cover the third 100 words. Now, we've also taken that to the next level, and when we think about our older students, we want to, according to Dr. Rosinsky again, we want to be working with the most common 600 words of the language. So I also created a booklet, again, for older students because they can handle more text at one time, and obviously having a little bit of a color or a cover that's been enhanced to appeal to our older readers. Then we have our first 100 words, and it takes just 3 of these pages to read the phrases that include the first 100 words. Same with second 100 words, there's about 3 pages again for those, and by the time they have worked on this entire booklet, of course, they are fluently, in other words, accurately, prosodically reading the most common 600 words of the language.
For more information or additional support, whether it be on-site, online, or by phone, please feel free to contact me.